ChatGPT 4 said something that broke me. Yeah, they're doing this. This is another, it's like, what is going on here, dude? What are people doing?
Anthropic's probably not a good candidate. But, yeah, it is what it is.
Every every AI lab needs their own in-house SF tech culture podcast.
Yes, hey. I couldn't have said it better myself. If anybody's listening.
Shaun Maguire.
Open to ideas.
I woke up not knowing what MTS Live is. Now I'm going on MTS in 15 minutes. 12 minutes now.
Fair enough. He's from my new favorite VC firm, the one that changed their name for me.
Yeah, it's just weird freaks. These people are such weird little gremlins, dude. It's like, bro, I would rather be in the woods by myself eating berries and like getting attacked by a bear, getting attacked by like wild animals, than participate in whatever this culture is. I'd rather be like running the gauntlet and have Indians attacking me. Even Kemper. Indians attacking me and hitting me with sticks as I'm naked, running down a line, trying to escape rape and like being scalped. Then participate in this, whatever this is.
Because we bullied them on the timeline.
Closest thing I've ever done to participate in something like this is when Cozy had their little marathon stream and I had to play poker with Isabel Moody and Josiah Moody. And they're very nice. But I was like, damn, this is like a cult. It's like a cult that I don't want to be in. I just want to hang out with Ethan Ralph and smoke crack, you know? So, yeah, I don't get along with people. I got my own thing going on.
Different subjects. The content of our conversation is...
Ian is actually good and charismatic. What is the point of this?
He was a good hang too.
There's nothing. There's no point to this. It's weirdos being weird, bro. They're just trying to get money from like... I'm just trying to get money from like rich people, so they suck up to them. And it's like, no, just don't, dude. Just do your own thing. Do your own thing. Work on your own project. It's like, have some dignity.
Completely zoned out. Totally mogged me.
Attention mogged.
Yeah, I mean, I think
every movement got their Tyler Russell. Every stream got its Tyler Russell.
But again, it's just I'm sort of talking my own book, talking my own points that I've made before on my podcast, on other people's podcasts, and on this podcast here today.
Sounds wonderful. I'm actually curious. I never heard the lore. Is Tyler Russell, is his family from... How long have they been in Canada for? You know what I mean? Are they founding stock of Canadian? You know what I mean? Canadian stock? Is he part French? You know what I mean? He's just English? What is he? You know, what's the Tyler Russell Canadian lore in North America? How do they get to North America? You should do a stream on that. How did they get to North America? How long have they been there? What was the reason they came to Canada instead of America? That sort of thing. That'd be good content, dude.
Boy baiting. But you know, like that's, I don't know. I don't. There's no need. I mean, it's even when we all met.
What if they just got here like 2 years ago and they're like, we just love Indians, and we got here. My family moved to Canada from Europe because we just really love people from India, and we just didn't want to go to India, so we just ended up in Canada.
Just kind of like.
And they own slaves, and they also own slaves too.
Or like, you know, like.
Did Canada even have slaves? I feel like Canada was too cold to have slaves. That's really why, like, the North got rid of slaves. It wasn't like a good idea. It was just like, they were just like, yeah, it was too cold. The slaves don't like it up here. So if we can't have slaves, nobody can have slaves. So then they attack people. Great grandparents went to Canada from Britain in early 1900s. And I was from French and me. Russell is a French name. Yeah, I was going to say, Russell sounds like it's like a British French name. Rousseau, red or redhead. That makes sense. Yeah, what's your family do? What's your job? Oh, we're redheads. In early 1900s, I have some French and me called Russell. Yeah. I feel like it's Britain, French and British. That was the vibe I was getting. But maybe it's the French people, the British people who went to Canada are normal, and it's just the British people who came to America are freaks. Maybe that's what the deal is. I don't know. I know French people are cool. I like French people,
but
unless they're from Quebec. Tyler Russell is actually straight from Quebec, like Chris Brunet.
Social relationships that develop out of shows like TBPN,
Quebecois,
MTS,
Tyler the Quebecois.
But it's a bit hard for those relationships to be created if the characters involved are not actually likable.
Totally. That'd be cool.
There's my TED
we
Talk.
We have parasocial friends, fans of the show, who are like, "Oh my god, my favorite segment with Theo and Jaden is on. We have to go watch it right now." Those are my boys right there. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, again, TPPN does a good job with their chat.
This is the worst part about these shows or anything like this. Any sort of fake normie thing. People do like the fake laughing of stuff. They do weird fake laughing. And it's constant like freaky, like forced positive social cues. And it's like, damn, bro. You'd like slit my throat in like half a second if society failed. It's like the Belko experiment or whatever it's called. And they all get locked in the room, and then it just turns into everyone has to kill each other. And it's like, these people would be the first ones like, yeah, sure. Bet. I'd love to do that. They're all like weird little insane people.
Are coming on soon, so we're going to take a quick little break. It's been great.
Cool.
Thanks so much for coming on for a culture segment.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to doing it again soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
I look forward to scrolling Twitter for 24 hours. They have a chud on their board, but they're chuds? No, they're not chuds. They're normies. There's differences. You guys don't know the differences because you're failed normies. A16 is a terrorist organization. Yeah, honestly. Honestly, we should probably lock up all these people. It's time to lock up Mark Andreessen, put him in the Egghead prison. Humpty Dumpty, you're going into the castle. Humpty Dumpty, you're getting put into a tower, and you're going to be poked with sticks until you make an omelet.
What we're doing here, or this broader media moment?
Yeah, so I'm old enough to remember when CNN started, although I didn't actually have cable TV at the time, so I didn't see it, but I remember it and the impact that it had. And then because I'm an obsessive, there's this book at one.
Yeah, so you guys are going to change the world, guys. It's going to matter, and it's going to be really important. And we're just reinventing, I guess, the internet. It's like CNN being invented, dude. But instead of like news stories that are retarded, it's Twitter, it's tweets. It's ugly people talking about tweets all day.
Point that nobody's read, but the book is called Me and Ted Against the World, which is a great title. So it's the founder is this guy Reese Schoenfeld. He's actually the guy who convinced Ted Turner to go into the satellite business, which sort of created.
Imagine if Mark Andreessen fell over one day, and his head hits the ground, and it just cracks open, and an egg yolk comes out, and a little baby chick. A little annoying baby chick crawls out of his skull. And it's like, wow, it's true. It was an egg. The whole time it was an egg, dude. And he actually is just a chicken. Now that would be a shock. But it probably would be less shocking than what he's about to say here.
Essentially modern cable TV, satellate TV, and then led down.
Power Charge Live / Paul 10. If you like this content.
It's been kind of lost to history, but Ted Turner was like a great, amazing example of exactly the kind of great founder that we work with. Just this incredible will to power, very controversial character.
See, this is what is like a friend simulator for these people, like Mark Andreessen. People do not care about Ted Turner. This guy does not care about Ted Turner. But everyone's going to like, yes, very true. Very true, Mark. That's so true, dude. Very true. Yes. Good point. It's just like a I respect you simulator for these people. They just use their money that they got. So they get like weird people to say, yeah, you're correct.
Like every other thing out of his mouth, horrified. He generated
it's active listening and then laughing like a weird little like gremlin, like this person. It's completely fraudulent, dude.
Huge number
Crazy.
Of headlines of like, I can't believe Ted said that. Like over and over and over again. So one of these real characters in the history of the media business. And then this guy Reese Schoenfeld, who was originally the lawyer that wired up Ted's first satellite deal. And
Ted Turner was going founder mode 10x. Ted Turner was a 10x founder. Here's a guy with what is it, Playboy Mansion? Howard Hughes, 10x founder. Satan, you might love him or you might hate him, but he was a 10x founder, and that's why he, fell fast.
The two of them came
as he got thrown down from the sky and cursed the damnation. Fail fast.
Up with this crazy idea, I forget, like 1981 or something. And they said, how about having a 24-hour news channel?
Bro's head is insane. Nah, Bro's head is, he's a genius.
Ted Turner wanted to be a 15-hour a day news channel because he assumed that there would be nobody watching overnight, and Reese was like, nope, 24 hours. People are going to stay up all night to watch this thing. And the idea was, by the way, completely alien to what CNN is today. The idea was this concept that Reese Schoenfeld came up with called randomonium.
Yeah, dude, they're disrupting streaming, dude. These people are disrupting streaming with crap. They're disrupting content, bro, with the idea of a constant stream 24/7.
Which basically says at any point in time, there is something happening in the world that is the most amazing, interesting, controversial, bonkers, compelling, transfixing thing that you can imagine. And
The current thing.
He's why, like, Africans think if you crack a white person's skull open, you'll find a nugget of gold. They saw the shape of an egg and they saw the shape of its head. They said, okay, well, there's got to be something in here, dude, because it's definitely not brains.
the current thing. At any moment in time, there's the current thing. And so what should a 24-hour news channel be? Obviously, it should be the thing, right? Obviously, what it should do is it should lock onto the current thing. It should then cover the current thing continuously, right, for as many minutes, hours, or days as that thing is the current thing. And then he called it randomonium because he basically said for that period, you just put whatever you get, you put on screen.
I want to make a game where you just hit people over the head and, like, you take a bat to their skull and in slow motion, you just, in the game, right? You just see their brains splatter. I mean, you just see these chunks of skull hit the wall, little bits of their scalp and skin, and like hair or lack of hair if you're hitting a bald person, hypothetically, right? Just stick to the wall, stick to the ground. There's blood dripping down everywhere, right? You just hear screams. Like, but in the game, that's what I'm trying to like. But I don't know. The game that I have currently, I think it wouldn't be right for it, but it's gonna be some future game, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And it'd be super realistic. It would feel like real life. It would be so cool. It'd be like a VR thing, I guess. It would just feel so real. Taking a heavy baseball bat and maybe I guess it would be a controller, like a baseball bat, right? And then you have the VR headset on, so it feels real, you know?
And so you get whatever fragmentary reports or man on the street interviews or whatever it is, you just slap the thing on the screen, and if you get it wrong, you apologize later. This is your real time, it's live, and then people are just going to be glued to this thing. So that was the original CNN business plan. They took a while to get up and running, but then they actually did implement this. And for our older viewers will remember, it was the real breakthrough point was
Ha 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 ha. Ah, that's so funny. If you guys missed the joke there, it was really funny. That's why everyone laughed.
the 1991 Gulf
The old viewers.
War, the first invasion of Iraq, and that was the thing that really caused the whole thing to punch through. And there was a week there where basically people were just glued to CNN around the clock because it was literally live on the ground coverage of they were in Baghdad with bombing raids happening, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then quite honestly, they spent the next 20 years basically trying to repeat that experience. And they repeated it every now and then with the Monica Lewinsky thing. OJ trial was that for a little bit. It was just kind of hard to come up with the next thing like that. And then over the last 20 years, CNN has kind of become something completely different. That's not that at all. And then basically what's happened is the internet reinvented randomonium. Right, the experience of monitoring the situation.
Right. So
especially
funny,
on
dude.
social media, and especially of course on X.
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Oh, Mark, you make me laugh. Ha ha ha.
And then, by the way, also streaming on other platforms, YouTube and Twitch and so forth. And so the internet reinvented this. Randomonium turned into the current thing, and then monitoring the situation legitimately, justifiably became a giant meme. It is time. Yes, it is clearly time to monitor the situation.
What did you?
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Oh, we finally got this freak. What's this weirdo? Yo, we got the weirdo guy. Ha ha ha. They need to have the zero gravity chair where they just sit back and there's like the YouTube video and just stare at the screen like that. Oh, they got the weirdo Shaun Maguire, the Jewish guy with the fake Irish name. Can we get rid of, like, can Jewish people not be allowed to take Irish people names? You can go Polish if you want. There's no difference, but they need to stop pretending. It's like Mr. Kevin O'Leary. It's like, dude, you're not Irish, you're Jewish. What are you doing? Why are you pretending to be Irish? Shaun Maguire, what are you doing, dude? You're Jewish. You're not Irish, bro. You're Jewish. Weird little gremlin. Dude, how many days do you think it's gonna last? Why would they want to be Irish? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Shaun, welcome to monitoring the situation.
Where am I exactly?
You're in the arena. We're super excited to have you. This is our first day. And let's start with the good stuff. You just tweeted a couple hours ago the two most controversial perspectives of the last year: be pro-Israel, be pro-data centers.
Finally.
Let's get into both. Maybe we'll start with data centers.
Finally, we can talk about Israel.
The controversy.
Start with the easy topic.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you describe how you see the controversy from your
Finally, my
perspective
show can
and
finally be
why
pro-Israel.
why the people
Finally,
on the
a tech
other
show
side
that worships
are missing
Israel.
the point.
Yeah, I've been heads down at work the last 6 weeks or so. Things were too easy, no controversy, and I had about 5 free minutes, so figured I need to pick violence.
Exactly.
And
It's crazy they have like the rat
This
phenotype.
one,
They literally have it's like same with Sam Altman, where it's like rat face look. No matter like what it's just literally just like the specific type. It looks like a rat.
on controversial topics in support of whatever they believe, like getting that conversation going so that we can have healthy, productive conversations. This is the fundamental, principle of a democracy. This is, when Elon bought Twitter, now X, like the first step is to have the town square where you can debate. The second step is to actually use it, to put out the controversial ideas in public so that you can debate things. And
They're just seething. That's the thing. These people just see
in general-
24/7 that like people don't like them, and they just can't understand. They just can't get over it, dude. It's so funny.
like it creates an incentive flywheel where the people with the minority opinion, it gets harder and harder to speak
All
up.
to the
They don't
bots have
wanna
a field of
speak
view.
up.
Yeah, they have a
And
field
then
of
the,
view.
the
They have
other
there's like a
side
mesh and nav
dominates.
mesh for like the pathfinding, but they have a field of view and also a radius of sound. I don't know if the calculations are perfectly for it yet, but yeah, they have a field of view, that sort of thing. In the dark, they can't really see you unless you have your light on or you fire. They hear you, right? If they have a flashlight, they can see you. If they don't have a flashlight, they can't see you.
People adjacent to the AI community saying we need to
Happy
stop,
birthday. Happy birthday.
progress with models. And
Power Charger Live if
put this
you
out
are on
there,
support. Baby
am
Nuggets birthday. Power
not
Charger Live
trying to
/Paul
say,
Town.
like, let's be irresponsible, but I'm trying to say, like, let's bring the conversation to the center. Let's bring it to the town square. Let's actually debate, how do we, like, AI is coming, whether we want it to or not. If America doesn't do it, it's going to be China.
8 eyes.
Like, so I think it's foolish to just stop building and let's have a real conversation on how do we do this the right way, rather than just try to burn down the data centers and go back to being cavemen.
Well, I
Ha,
agree with
got
that,
him.
but I think to the
Got him.
anti-AI
Finally.
China thing is not really an argument.
Got
that
him.
proves
Finally.
Right? Like they just think I don't want this AI rotting my brain and polluting my environment and whatever. So like, how do you convince the average person that this thing is good? Not like the DC elite.
Look, I don't think it's easy. And so when I tweet this, like one of my own personal philosophies is I'm happy to jump on the grenade and be the first to taking the controversial, spicy positions. I would say Delian used to take the controversial positions before me, but he kind of stopped doing it. He got all Varda became a good company and then he stopped being controversial. There's too much to lose.
Dude, imagine
And
being
so
the guy on the
now,
left with the
I'm
fake
out there
laughter.
and I'm just I'll
With the
keep jumping on
let's move the chat
grenades
here.
to just get the conversation going. And so truly, like my goal with this tweet is just to keep the conversation going. And I'll say on the first point we can come back to in a second, but it's got to the point where people are just like afraid to defend Israel at this point because it's just such an unpopular opinion in certain circles. And I feel like this is actually starting to happen on the AI side.
Same.
We're way earlier along.
Let's
in that
move
part.
on. Let's move on to
But I
something
think,
else. Yeah,
when
AI is a lot like
people
Israel.
that have a little bit of a megaphone.
Amazing
comment, like,
Israelis.
It's a prerequisite to opening the window for even say at Stanford University for kids at Stanford. My goal is that kids at Stanford can take the pro AI, pro data center space, like in any room. And obviously they can in a lot of rooms right now, like you can if you're at the Stanford Review, but even like in a
Dude, this guy is
social
such a suck
sociology
up. It's
class,
crazy.
I want them to be able to take the pro AI, pro data center position and argue it with each other and figure out what needs to happen for people
Chad
not to get
Redhead, dude.
behind and,
Redhead's the Chad, and the other guy's a weird
like,
little
let's
suck
have the
up.
conversation rather than just burning down the data centers.
Let's actually get to the Israel point if you're open to it. I'm curious just for your
Right.
characterization as to what
Yeah, let's talk
has
about Israel
happened.
as amazing.
You know, a lot of
Please.
people are blaming the that we're in the war, and that this war won't be quick, that it'll be, you know, that'll last, and they're saying, oh, you know, this is Bibi's war.
Can we have this tech show, please? Talk to us about Israel now.
Serve American interests. How would you respond to that characterization?
First of all, I would say like predicting where we are right now in terms of sentiment was very easy, and I did it in the first 2 days after October 7th. Like you can go on my timeline and you will see I predicted where we are now.
I predicted nobody would like Jews very soon. For the first time in the history of America,
Show me the incentives,
people would
show me
not like
outcomes.
Jews.
And the incentives are for
For
anyone
the first
that
time in
is
history,
an enemy of America.
people would not
I
like
don't mean
Jews.
internally. I don't mean like the kid on a college campus that just is not very informed. I mean for China, for Russia, for Iran, for anyone that has large information warfare weaponry, like they're incentivized to.
I like the idea. Like, somebody doesn't like me. It's because the government's spending
American
billions of
ally,
dollars,
also,
since they're secret agents trying to
turn
ruin
it
my life.
internally to try
Like,
to
dude, you're a
create division
schizophrenic.
internally here.
You're mentally ill
I guess
schizophrenic, dude.
Point one is I'm not surprised.
That's
for
just not why
where we
people don't
are.
like you.
And then on the specific point around like this war was serving Israel's interests, like I find this take pretty funny. I mean, and take Donald Trump.
Really, it doesn't seem very funny. It
President
seems
Trump
like
in
you're
the last 3
seething.
days has tweeted probably 3 or 4 times. He like I did not do this war. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but like I did not do this war for Israel. Like no one can convince me of anything. And I find it pretty funny. Like people will simultaneously say that, oh, Trump is this like madman who does whatever he wants, but then out of the other, you know, he's a dictator that does whatever he wants. But then out of the other side, of the
The
mouth, but
hypocrisy,
on this
dude.
topic, he's controlled by Israel. And then President Trump himself is saying, I am not controlled by Israel. I did this. You know,
Isn't
like,
bro gay married to
for my own reasons.
Bibi
You
Netanyahu?
have
Isn't this
the,
freak
you know,
gay married to
four-star
literally
admiral
Bibi
Dominic Raab,
Netanyahu
Director of CENTCOM,
in Israel
who,
and has a dual
you know,
citizenship?
has said how amazing of a partner Israel is. Like we've gotten to go to the point where people are so skeptical of everything and don't want to trust any experts that it's just impossible to convince them of something that
How good Israel is. We've gotten to the point where people don't even like Israel, dude. And it's messed up.
Look,
It's fucked up,
my
dude.
argument is that like I am America first. This is a situation where the American first perspective has 90% plus overlap with the Israel first
Wow.
perspective.
We're really being
And a
Israel
lot of
first
people
is
will then,
America first.
you know, take that overlap and think that you're only doing for Israel. Trump is only doing for Israel, even though he fought a war. And like to me,
What does this even
when
mean,
I
dude?
view
This doesn't mean anything.
this-
Nothing he's saying means anything,
you
dude.
know, the last like 4 years, so going even to Ukraine, I just view everything through the lens of like relatively rational geopolitics of China.
This guy is a genius. This is why he's a billionaire, dude.
America,
Because he's a
instead of
genius.
static or
You think you could come up with that
I'm not gonna
analysis
say
like
it,
this?
slightly declining
Without being a
empire, which
genius?
is
I don't think
on
so,
the
dude.
rise again. Like that's part of why I voted for President Trump. Is
This guy
I
should
thought
have more
he
billions
had
of
the
dollars.
reverse course.
He should get more
And,
billions of dollars.
You know, when
Please,
empires get closer
Trump,
to
give him more
parity,
money.
you start to see more proxy wars, more skirmishes, like more jostling for power. And I personally view what's happening in Iran as part of that great power game. And I think it has been incredibly positive for America. And I'll give you an example.
It's been really good for America,
I
honestly.
personally think
Do you guys
that
feel like it's
this
been
war
really
in
good for
Iran
America?
has dramatically reduced the chances that China goes and tries to invade Taiwan in the next 2 years.
Well,
How's that?
Yeah.
well, because he
So,
can't prove anything about
Let
it.
me just say, like, before I explain, most military theorists, like, you know, and I'm not saying like the people in think tanks, I'm saying the people in the Pentagon,
Whoa.
if you were to go back 6 months ago, most of them had a 2027 timeline for China trying to invade Taiwan. And that's kind of where
Let's look at
we
this guy's
reached a
net
peak
worth.
of Chinese military readiness for this operation before the American America's tried to reactivate a lot of defense production and modernizing arsenal and kind of counter planning, counter preparation. It'd be kind of like the maximum delta between how prepared China would be and how like unprepared America would be. So a lot of people had that as a 2027 timeline. When you go back to 4 years ago,
Bro
the two
studied
most important
quantum
allies in the world
gravity
to
at
China
Caltech, dude.
are Russia and Iran.
He studied quantum gravity
this
and
is
black holes. You can
kind of
tell he's
all of us.
real.
It's oil, it's soft power
Bro's a
around the
genius.
world, it's military equipment,
And
it's
that's why he
testing their
supports Israel,
equipment,
because he literally understands
it's
quantum,
intelligence
dude.
sharing, proxy force projection, all these things.
Dude,
Warren,
do you even understand quantum? If you don't understand quantum, how are you going to understand this dude? He was legit and did not cheat to get his degree. He did not commit fraud to get his degree. He's a genius, okay?
and you see this with everything from before this war. People forget that going back about 2 years, the Houthis blocked not the Strait of Hormuz. They blocked basically the strait.
Damn, finally somebody's talking about
to
this
the
crap.
Suez Canal, and there was a few moments where they let Chinese flagged ships or Chinese aligned ships
Bruh.
sail through the Suez Canal, and they blocked any American aligned ship from going through the Suez Canal. We were already seeing, and again, like the Houthis are an Iranian proxy. So we were seeing 2 years ago, Iranian proxies blocking global shipping for American aligned, ships and allowing Chinese ships to pass through. This is only a small, tiny little example of the force projection that, Chinese interests have benefited in the world through Iran. It's hard to say the exact percent of oil imports that China gets from Iran, because Iran sent a lot of their oil to other places like Malaysia in particular, and then it gets sent to China. But, a vast majority of China's oil imports came from a combination of Russia, Iran, Venezuela, all of which have been, taken off the map in terms of the long-term access for Iran in the last 4 years. And if nothing else, that makes it much harder for China to do a Taiwan operation. Like if they don't have steady access to oil, it's pretty hard to run a naval blockade of Taiwan as one example. It's also reduced their soft power, in that region, which, the skies are now relatively open to Western China. So it opens a whole new front for them that they would have to defend, which they had not planned for at all. If you go back 2 years, Syria was the most dense.
So this is basically why we need to die for Israel.
The most dense
I agree.
anti-aircraft.
I agree. This is why we need to all die for Israel immediately.
Including,
I'm signing up as we speak. On a different tab, I have a military. I have the Navy. I have Marines.
The Chinese.
I have the SEALs,
Radars, not radios.
which is also the Navy, of course. The Army,
proven to
Air Force.
Not be up to the standards of.
And I'm not the Coast Guard, though. That's for gay people.
An American.
But I definitely the Navy, not for gay people. But I'm signing up for all of them, actually, as we speak. Thank you. So I can go die for Israel. It's really actually important if I don't. If I don't, something bad's going to happen to me.
I can go write out a whole thesis, but I could go through 10, 20, 30.
If I don't, something bad is probably going to happen.
And I personally think this is an incredibly good thing. Like, I do not want war with China. I do not want.
You should all probably sign up.
America to get dragged into a war with Taiwan. I think that's very bad for everyone. And
them arches on Paul making hey, dude, come on, bro.
Like a short war with Iran to prevent them from getting nuclear weapons.
What are you, a vampire?
Reassert, American influence in the region, like rather than letting us just get run over by China. And really quick, I'm not trying to say something that I think people misinterpret.
Oh yeah, I've seen that sort of stuff.
This is not to criticize.
I think the benefit of those stuff is like it makes you hallucinate. I think part of the hallucination is part of the fun. It's such a compelling thing. It's such a compelling thing that you get rid of the hallucination, then it's not as compelling because it doesn't stick in your brain as much. That's like a different perception. I don't know. I that stuff looks interesting too, though. That stuff looks way more stable than like people hallucinating.
China. Like I actually think China's been very rational on these things. I think it's America that's been irrational. We let, if you go back, obvious things like
it's definitely real though.
China steal intellectual property.
I don't know if it's really that productive, but I don't know if it shows the actual health benefits.
He
thinks it does.
We let like Huawei build telecommunication networks for a bunch of our allies, and President Trump tried, but we didn't exert effective pressure, and on and on and on. Like I think we were just really irrational and afraid to use American influence to actually exert pressure on the world to try to get, American aligned incentives. And China was very rational that they were doing things that basically effectively exerted their influence on the world.
So what do you think is the end game for Iran? Like, how do we get out of this conflict, and when do we get out of it? And what do you think the state of like the geopolitical game board will be once we're done?
I have no.
Yeah, we need
position in the
more
US
data
government,
centers
so I
for
get to
Israel.
say things that anyone in
Immediately.
the government cannot say. Like their hands are tied. To
Immediately.
me, it's surprising me how
Immediately.
people still don't understand President Trump's negotiation style.
People don't
which
love.
is, to me, he tries to look for what he thinks is the right outcome or a
Bro,
fair
such a suck up.
outcome,
It's crazy.
presents that to the other side. When they do not accept that, he will say something really radical and extreme to counterposition. Then when the other side still doesn't agree, he will go take very strong action to show that he is the alpha dog. And then, the other side will usually
Again, after me studying my quantum. Donald Trump is the alpha dog. He's basically the leader of the alpha pack, wolf dog. And he's basically being an alpha dog right now. He's basically howling at the moon. And I did this when I got my PhD in quantum. I learned about the alpha dogs like Donald J. Trump.
All Iranians, I would absolutely not want to, do racial stereotyping or anything like that. But I do deal with a lot of Persians, and I think a lot of Americans just don't understand how negotiations work.
Yeah, these guys would. I would definitely want to be a Persian person. I definitely want to be an Iranian who has Shaun Maguire as his VC. Right about now, I'd love to be an Iranian person dealing with these people.
If you're unwilling to enforce it, my guess is we come up with a decent agreement with Iran, or they don't agree, and President Trump is forced to go do another short bit of activity to really remind them, this is not someone you can mess around with. He's going to tell you what's fair from the beginning. He will be consistent. No nuclear program. Strait of Hormuz is open.
Totally chill.
Stop arming proxies in the region. And beyond those things, if Iran actually sticks to those things, then
getting paid by the hour. Yeah, they're on that their KCIP, bro. Power to the life /Paulson. We're not getting that KCIP. It's going to this guy.
I mean, and they don't really have a government.
It's going
now, but
to them now.
The heavily fragmented, IRGC and a little bit of the remaining mullahs, etc., will not be incentivized to accept the deal in first place.
Damn.
Because just their style is to try to negotiate every last inch and to keep.
Bird Merkins, I like you, dude. Sometimes you piss me off with your German sarcasm. How sarcastic you are, but
momentarily.
What a freak.
But I think it's very.
But I like you. I can't help but like you, dude. You piss me the fuck off, though, I'll tell you that.
And, beyond limited special forces, capabilities.
Let's check what BBV is up to here. Oh, $9.54. That's more than I told you guys about it, right?
Guys on the ground.
Is that more or less? I forget. Is that more or is that less than when I mentioned it to you guys?
And, the CIA was obviously.
I would guess, if I had to guess, it's probably 3 times the price I told you guys about. So it's the 300%. I told you when it was at $3 or something. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. If only I've done that before, but that's one of those freakish things that I guess you always get one. You always luck into one successful prediction in life, and this is mine, I guess.
People that were involved with that think that if we would have just kept going with a very, very limited surgical.
I guess this is my one lucky prediction I've made that turned out to be correct.
Bin Laden, we would not have gone bogged down in Afghanistan, etc. And my understanding, and again, to try, people see me now as a right-wing guy. I think President Bush.
Oh yeah, we can see that you're a big right-wing guy, bro.
Afghanistan and Iraq. I have some friends that were on the National Security Council for Bush at the time.
As you do.
And I've kind of heard the in the building stories, and I think there was this. This is kind of the stories that have been told to me. I was on the room, so this is just my own recollection, but Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Bush, and maybe Bush heavily influenced by Cheney and Rumsfeld, they decided, I think, for political reasons, to put, Marines and the army on the ground in Afghanistan. I think a lot of it was the public just was not able to see the special forces operations happening, and American exceptionalism had been attacked on 9/11. And so I think we made this massively suboptimal decision of trying to do this really overt, obvious, large-scale activity to appease the American public, to make them feel like America is still exceptional after this very embarrassing moment of 9/11. And like, I think people look at Afghanistan and they don't understand that there was this like precursor way of, and even the entire time
They don't understand. A lot of people, a lot of the people don't understand that Afghanistan and Iraq were way harder than Iran. That's two countries. You can never fight a two-front war successfully. Hitler tried it, but like Iran's one country, so it's literally half the difficulty of Afghanistan and Iraq. If we just attack Iran, that's literally going to be done in half the time, maybe even a quarter of the time. And it's literally going to be half the work or a quarter of the work because it's not a two-front war. It's easier. It's literally, and it's so much easier to spell. Afghanistan, a big reason it was hard for our soldiers is because there's too many words, too many letters, right? Iran, everybody can spell it. Iran, right? They ran, we came, we followed, we shot them. The end. That's how it works.
Years. But it won't be easy.
One is less than two, exactly. That's what people don't get.
But for the Iranian people,
the panicans don't understand.
Switching gears for a sec from.
And you can push if you think I'm wrong or stupid about anything. I'm happy to talk about it.
Well, did you answer the second part of how? I mean, you mentioned a little bit with China, but once that
you can
happens,
feel free to
how else
contradict me,
the
dude.
Geopolitical game in terms of
I won't destroy your fucking life if you
and let me just go back
are
to
anti-Israel.
China. Let me try to be very concise.
I will destroy your entire life.
China's oil supply is massively disrupted. They can't run large-scale naval operation without Iranian, Venezuelan, and Russian oil. So that's point one. Point two, they learned
Why does his beard look like that? It's so weird.
Radar systems and surface-to-air missiles that they just don't work. That the Israeli electronic warfare.
Where should you go for the chin strap? I think that's really what Shaun Maguire needs to go for.
Good. So China just learned.
Go for the mullet.
A lot of
shave the mustache. Leave a chin strap.
Does not work. That is also a massive deterrent for them.
Yeah, very compelling first stream. It's like why we need to kill people in Iran.
Third, they have lost their proxy force projection in the entire Middle East. Because of this operation. Four, and this is something that I think is like a big narrative violation. A lot of people are pointing at this and they think that America lost. Like America has been unbelievably successful in this operation. And I think pretty much
we need to be more successful.
Like whatever the podcasters say is one thing, but the military analysts.
Yeah, whatever that Nick Fuentes guy says is one thing, dude.
Azerbaijan or, I would even argue in Germany or the UK, etc. They're seeing what's happening and they're like, oh my God, America is stronger than I thought they were. And even this, like this.
Everybody's saying it, dude. Everybody's loving America, blowing things up,
against
dude.
American interests. Now, their politicians, Macron and Starmer.
Everybody is saying how amazing it is, and we need to continue doing it.
Defense establishments and their intelligence communities, like they're viewing this very differently. And so, to me, these are 4 examples. I can give many more that have been deterrents from a China-Taiwan operation.
Isn't even that focused on American, power, vis-a-vis China. But then there are people who are on the same side who say, oh no, we actually need America to be strong. Maybe someone like a David Sachs or John Mearsheimer. But when we look at whether the conflict in Ukraine or whether the conflict here, they say, in the Middle East in 2001, et cetera, or 2008, Afghanistan and Iraq, 2003. But they look at that and say, hey, that didn't actually strengthen the U.S. Vis-a-vis our biggest enemies. And so it's really just a question of the specific conflict, and do people think this actually increases American power, or is a detraction from that?
Yeah, and I'll just say on that, like, so I am very much not a fan. So I'm a huge fan of David Sachs. I'm not a fan of John Mearsheimer. And look, I think that people that
I mispronounced his name.
criticize America's strategy in the Afghanistan or Iraq wars, like that is very legitimate and probably accurate, with the nuance that I think Iraq and Afghanistan are very different. And Afghanistan, again, I think that there were these two parallel things, two parallel wars. There was the special forces war happening, and then there was also the large scale boots on the ground war. We're
We're so powerful, dude.
Iraq.
We're so powerful.
Unsuccessful with the boots on the ground strategy in Afghanistan, but we were actually very successful with the special forces strategy. And this is a nuance that's lost on people. And then here, I would just say that
it's weird. He does like investment. It's weird how like Shaun Maguire does like investment, but really he's actually just an expert on war. He might be a tech investor, but really his one passion is why we need to go to war with Iran. His one expertise that he really is an expert at is why Americans need to be at war with Iran. I wonder why that is.
I think that
kind of a weird thing. Weird to be a tech investor so passionate about Israel, dude.
One, I think that he fails to acknowledge that America is unfortunately right now already in a Cold War 2.0. And I think that pretty much every American president, it's been bipartisan. I think that this really started during the second half of Obama. There was a precursor to this of just China stealing American IP and hacking American companies, etc. I would say around 2012 or so is when we kind of entered the more kinetic phase. When I was in Afghanistan, like, and
why does my
personally with some
button down look like the Motorola logo though? Why does it look like the Motorola logo around my neck?
China was a meaningful fraction of the dollars financing the Taliban in Afghanistan, like literally fighting against us. And people were afraid. The Obama administration was afraid to let that fact become public because they felt like
I hate Obama, dude. Bro was racist as fuck against Israel.
Like
that's the worst part about Obama is he was anti-Semitic and he's Muslim.
Would be an escalation that would make worse conflict more likely. I actually think the first Trump admin had the same view. Like they were afraid, everyone on both sides is bipartisan, has been afraid to acknowledge that we're in Cold War 2.0. And I am dumb enough that I'm willing to acknowledge we're actually in Cold War 2.0.
Wow, and we need to attack Iran now.
We end it like sooner or later. I don't want this to be a 50-year Cold War 2.0. I want, but I think it's been rational. The problem has been rational for China. They've just escalated, the tactics of how much that they're trying to bleed America dry over the last 20 years. And because we weren't willing to do anything about it, there was no reason for them to stop. Like they were very rational. Like America just let them do whatever they wanted. And so kind of my overall framing, and this is what I think Mearsheimer gets wrong, I want to send a signal to China like, hey, we know we're in Cold War 2.0. We're actually willing to get kinetic to protect our interests and to stop this. But we do not want it to become full-scale war. Like you can thrive, we can thrive. Like let's not repeat the same mistakes of the first Cold War. Like good on you. You played the game well for 20 plus years, but we're done being passive. We're done not doing anything about it.
Dude, this is such a horrible, boring show, bro.
Protect our interests, and now let's go build AGI and make all of humanity rich.
Yeah, I want to segue to the Trump admin, and then we'll get to some space stuff. So on the Trump admin, my understanding is that of course,
holy crap, dude,
against him, but even
it might be the most boring
on the right
retard I've ever seen in my life. And I've watched Sneeko,
on
dude.
the right, there's sort of a
and I've watched Sneeko content.
Supported more people.
Haha.
And there's also, the concern about going to war, which is, he said he wasn't going to do it, and they feel that this is a sort of a detraction from sort of the Trump plan. I'm curious how you make of and then of course there's stuff with tariffs, and I'm curious how you make of the Trump admin so far. Almost a couple years in.
Oh yeah, it
And
got
I'm
released.
curious,
Let's see what this goes.
I have to
I'm curious for you to make a
thoroughly
prediction on
disappoint,
what you think the Trump admin, this
and,
second
yeah.
admin legacy
I think
might
that
be, kind of
cool
when it's
game.
all said and done.
DLC. How?
Yeah, I just
and it's like
on the
no, I meant like
the Trump
relax-
ran on an anti-war platform.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Would you do a rage game?
Final
again?
countdown,
If we
let's
get a good
see.
idea, but right now I have game. Right now,
Final countdown.
years.
yeah, exactly. It's only when we have the funds to give it a shot. And again, my
Bro looks like a full damn fool,
it
dude.
needs to be a good game, regardless
Yeah.
of whatever the gooning might be.
Incremental Gunner game when?
I mean, the number they do seem to mash well. So
Yeah, because you only need one hand to play MO98 either. So
Ha ha ha.
yeah.
It's over, dude.
All right, it's
Bro's
it's
washed.
It's no text. Oh,
things.
okay. This was
Yeah,
not
as someone says as well, gooner games are risky because some banks might also deny you and such.
I'm gonna release a sound. This one should be pretty chill still. And then we get to the big game, William. 100
go.
days of development have led up to this.
See, it's such a short time frame. 130 days of development.
Finally.
We need to wait still 20 seconds.
Oh, it's yeah.
I'll just
Chubs.
pre-populate. Release my app. Damn, day one DLC, how greedy of you. And ironically, you're not the first person to write that. I'm going to do one quick final wishlist refresh. I don't think it updated. Yeah, 27,672 wishlists on launch. And it's time to release. Release now.
And so it begins.
All right. Now it's like an error occurred. Happy New Year. No Happy New Year, unfortunately.
It's live.
You can
It's
see it.
live. Go go go.
Wow. All right.
Oh, I need to
It's
find
viable
it.
on the.
How many
Yeah, I think-
sales? Now tell me how many sales you got, dude.
Should be fixed already, Goshin Game Dev. Potential, I feel. Other way, because he doesn't look at any other games.
Yeah, no.
Damn, they roasted his ass, dude. Bro got destroyed. It's simply not fun and satisfying. Bro got destroyed. His stupid ass app got destroyed,
I
bro.
did the exact same with the first negative reviews of my game. You just like, how do I find this guy's address and how do I send a pipe bomb there?
Damn, bros, that's crazy. That's crazy to say that. You know, you watch your digital footprint to say that. You can't say that stuff like that, dude.
He liked my map.
God,
yeah. I'm wondering, Keep on Mining Worlds has a bundle with us. Did he like pin it or anything? I think, or maybe it's because it's cheapest. I'm not sure. Or visible at least.
Well, it makes me a lot like I remember the Steam support memes where it's like, oh, my account got stolen. It's like, oh yeah, we've terminated the hacker. Here's the footage.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just see the guy get shot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be in popular or like new and trending right now. Will you reveal sales number?
Oh.
Yeah. I think we can
Ooh.
like we'll wrap up the stream somewhat soonish maybe. I'm gonna let
Oof. It's
I'm-
over, dude. It's easy, dude.
You'll get down. You're never running from this town. And I think you said trouble. 'Cause you read it in the paper. Now you're giving me the look. Just remember how we shook.
Not that good, honestly. We got to get back to Polymarket asked to work with us.
Prediction markets
have exploded.
It's so entertaining.
Platforms like Polymarket, Kalshi.
Polymarket.
If you had me saying potato on Polymarket, you just made a ton of money.
A few weeks ago, Polymarket reached out to More Perfect Union wanting to collaborate. Specifically, they wanted us to integrate their odds into our reporting to give you new insights into the issues that we cover. So naturally, before diving into a partnership, we had to do our due diligence and look a little closer at
Ain't
the
nobody
business
getting this
model
story.
and the big
Just a bunch of
claims
freaks.
that Polymarket's CEO likes to make.
The thing that drives me is that there are billions of people who could find value in this. A diverse group of market participants is more accurate than any given expert. It's the most accurate thing we have as mankind right now, until...
All right, Benny Blanco. It's not gambling. Okay, Benny Blanco. You're not just a gambling app. You're something more real and serious.
someone else creates some sort of super crystal ball.
People at Polymarket are the same types that hate AI. I hate Polymarket, dude. Polymarket should be illegal. So should Kalshi. They're the gambling apps. Gambling is bad. It's literally just scams. It's like brown people scamming America, dude. Gambling should not be legalized. Like this, Coinbase shouldn't be allowed to do gambling like they're doing. It should be illegal. Yeah, it's horrible. It should be illegal. It's literally just, it's like scum of the earth. It'd be like, oh, what, you hate being a loan shark? What, you don't want to be a loan shark? It's like, no. No, I don't think anybody should be a loan shark. I think loan sharks should be illegal and they should be arrested and put in prison. Oh, wait, you're just mad you're not a loan shark. No, I'm not mad I'm not a loan shark. I think loan sharks are scum of the earth.
Kalshi, their biggest competitor, makes similar grand claims.
It actually enhances the
And
law.
the thing is, what they're doing is illegal. What they're doing is literally gambling. The only reason they're allowed to get away with it is because they're connected. It's like the USSR, where it's like literally a scam. They're doing gambling, but it's prediction market. Like what they're doing is technically illegal, but because they're connected to the right people, they're not getting prosecuted. And it's like a bunch of fraud, dude. It's like all these fraudulent companies that shouldn't be allowed to operate. They're allowed to operate, and there's going to be companies that do it. There's going to be like Bitcoin, crypto places, offshore places. There are going to be places like that, but the people who do it shouldn't be allowed to participate in American society politely. Like they shouldn't be allowed to operate politely in American society or be in America. They should be at risk of being arrested if they come into America for being criminals. They're not. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, yeah. If you were, Paul Time, if you were Nick Fuentes, if you were Richard Pennison or Rape Caviar or Latin Stars or Fishman or Societal Peach or Duncantino or Chubbs, you'd be arrested for running illegal gambling. But because you're Jewish, and you're connected to my Jewish friend, you're not being prosecuted. It's like, dude, this is what's going on. This is how all of society is working right now. It's the same thing with Palantir. Palantir sucks. It's not that interesting. It's not that good. It's not that different. It's literally just like a front end for like crap. But look up tables and stuff. It's like gay and retarded. It doesn't do anything. It's worthless. All right, it's stupid. But because it's connected to Jews who are connected to people who are in the administration, they get military contracts doing crap and make a ton of money. It's just fake. It's like all fraud. It's like with the Trump kids printing $500 million or whatever, $500 billion for their world liberty scam and then just minting it. Because their dad is the president, because they're part of a criminal organization, nobody will get in trouble for it. It's a big scam. It's a big fraud. The whole thing is fraud.
In a way, it increases voter engagement.
It's actually the best mechanism to get more truth about who's actually going to win.
You might see ads.
So it's like it's stupid. It's literally just like stupid, dude. I'm against it fully. I'm against fully. Gambling should be illegal. It's still gonna happen, but it should be. It's the same way pornography should be illegal. It should be illegal. It's not going to stop pornography. Pornography is going to happen, but it shouldn't be socially acceptable. It should be something that's very like taken away because people can't handle it. I'm sorry. People can't handle it. It's not good for society. You shouldn't really be. It's like parasitic and it's bad, right? It just shouldn't be allowed. It's going to still happen. You can still do it. It's like drugs. Drugs, they should be illegal. Why? Because some people can use drugs fine, right? Most people can't. But because most people can't, dude. And if you really want to get drugs, you can go buy drugs. You can go get any drug you want right now very easily. So it should all be illegal. All the drugs should be illegal. Gambling should be illegal. Even alcohol, maybe. I don't know. Because if you really want it, you can get it. Same thing with gambling. It should be illegal. If you really want to gamble, you can gamble. You can use Bitcoin or crypto or whatever. It's like global poker, for example. Like that's a thing where it's like global poker technically is like illegal because it's not technically illegal, but it's like there's poker sites are banned and you can still play poker because there's very ways to get around it and you can use non-American sites. And if you want to play poker online, you can play poker online, but it shouldn't be available to like retards. It shouldn't be available to people who are just kind of like stupid, because that's like parasiting off of them. They should be encouraged to do positive things and live a good life and be happy and be part of society, not this weird scam situation where it's like, you're too stupid, you got addicted to gambling, sucks to suck. It's like, no, we have a duty, we have a duty to not make money off of hurting people on purpose. That's really, your duty is to try to provide value and be a good person, and that sort of stuff. As a white person, sorry.
From them about how you'll make rent trading on their platform, or how you can quit your part-time job. Looking at how these companies pitch themselves closely is really important, because the thing is, prediction markets don't just exist in a void. They're deeply related to the larger structural problems in our economy right now. At a time when every day has a new political or economic crisis, from multiple foreign conflicts, domestic unrest,
it's gonna be an ad right here. It's gonna be an ad.
AI, massive budget cuts to social welfare programs, and the crippling of the American retirement, Polymarket and Kalshi.
Yeah, it's like the reverse mortgage people. They shouldn't be allowed, dude. They should be illegal. It's like, this is like, there's a bunch of like loan sharks shouldn't be allowed, and we take them and I just go, okay, across the board, if you're a scummy person, there needs to be laws based on morality. The problem is because obviously we can't have that anymore because we have a bunch of gypsies running the country, people who run fish markets in Poland, right? But like, that's the reality of it. It should be like, hey, if your business is like scamming people and fucking people over, you go to prison. I don't care if there's a loophole. If we know you're a bad person and you're a bad person, you go to prison. Sorry. If you're like a shitty person who's like taking advantage of people, I don't care if there's a legal loophole. It's like Shylock in what is the Merchant of Venice, where it's like, yeah, okay, you can get a pound of flesh, but if you do a drop more or a drop less, you get killed. Where it's like, yeah, that's the point. The point is, yeah, technically you're right. Technically you found the loophole, but in reality, we don't like you, so you have to die.
Are seemingly offering working class people a solution. You can regain control of the chaos, get an inside edge on our rigged economy, and stand to make tons of money. But is that true? We dug into their marketing tactics, talked to experts, and went to their grocery store to ask, will prediction markets give working people more power?
The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion.
Or by financializing everything, are they recreating the worst aspects of the system they claim to be fighting?
Facts, honestly.
To get a better idea of what Polymarket is all about, we went to a recent project of theirs that we could get behind. A totally free grocery store in New York City.
Do you know about prediction markets?
Nah, I don't know nothing about that.
I'm familiar with it, but I wouldn't say I know it fully in depth.
I've heard some tell about them. They hedge against whether you win or lose. Yeah, I don't actually like that.
They're doing good.
They're doing good. Like, everything's expensive in New York. It's good to have something like this.
So my question is, why is Polymarket trying to impress working class people with these marketing stunts? We'll get back to that later. But to get some basic definitions down, we reached out to an expert. Dustin Gauker is a seasoned journalist, an expert on the gambling industry, and writes a newsletter specifically on prediction markets. So we sat down to talk.
Prediction market is where you trade on outcomes of events in the real world, yes or no. Simple as that. Where you can bet on who's going to win an election. Is it Kamala Harris or is it Donald Trump? Who's going to win tonight's basketball game, the Lakers or the Knicks? It is that times 1,000. Anything that could happen. Will there be more than 12 inches?
Remember the Polymarket bar? There's a total flop fair. I think it's like a marketing sign. I don't think it's a permanent thing. These are just scams, dude. These are just like fraud scams. So like, the grocery store isn't going to be a real thing for long, right? And then it's literally just like marketing thing to get their name out there.
Oh, in New York tomorrow. Kalshi, for instance, all contracts are $1. If something is 50-50, you're buying a contract for 50 cents. Somebody is buying the other side of your contract for 50 cents. At the end, one of you gets $1.
The idea here is that the current market price is the probability.
Well, I don't mind RainBet because it's not an American company. Same thing with Stake. Stake is an American company. I support them and I have referral codes. But Kalshi and Polymarket should be illegal.
The event will happen.
In the final month of the campaign, most pollsters were saying the race was too close to call. But that was conventional wisdom. Polymarket relied on the wisdom of crowds and correctly predicted the outcome.
In theory, the financial incentives here force people to be honest. If you're wrong, you lose money, so you better be right. This is supposed to be the ultimate filter, signal from noise, the truth machine. With enough people taking part in these bets, with enough liquidity, you get more accuracy. There's no house in this transaction, as prediction market companies are really fond of reminding us. They don't care if you win or lose, unlike sports books. They're just facilitating the transaction. It's matching. Sounds almost friendly, but there's a catch to all this. For these markets to be truth machines, to get the most accurate predictions, they actually kind of need insider trading. Take a look at this market, for example. What will happen before the video game Grand Theft Auto 6 is released? A lot of people know the answer to these questions. People who work on Drake or Rihanna's teams, or who work for their record labels. Maybe you work at OpenAI and you know the release date for GPT-6. You should probably place a big bet and get some money for that knowledge. The markets are meant to price the probability of the event, so they incentivize people who have high conviction, people who have insider information, to come collect their bounty by placing big bets on sure things. Placing these bets pushes the market probability in the right direction, making the prediction market more accurate because you know the answer. But it also means, in a lot of cases, these markets are inherently unfair.
There's been advocates, including Polymarket CEO, that insider information gets us to the truth or gets us to more accurate probabilities. And honestly, not wrong. If that's the goal of a prediction market, you actually want insiders trading into it.
This is Dr. Robin Hanson.
Why is he sitting in a throne? Why is Dr. Robin sitting on a throne, dude?
Godfather of modern prediction markets, held up by the Polymarket CEO as the expert.
In a prediction market, there aren't investors, it's a betting market. We create the prediction market in order to learn things about the company. If the main purpose is to get more accurate prices, then basically we want as many insiders as we could. Insiders is great, please. Insider trading, it's just not really an issue for prediction markets.
Now, prediction markets would respond to this criticism in a few ways. Kalshi says they're rolling out new tools to find insiders. They require ID verification to trade now. Polymarket recently rolled out their own new insider trading rules months later. But the simple fact is they can't possibly police all the traffic that they're getting.
The Oscars, Rotten Tomatoes scores for movies, how many streams there will be in Spotify. Like, surveillance will catch a large bet that's abnormal, right? But the whole universe of people who has this information, across all of these markets is in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Yes, they know who you are, but can they definitively say this is insider trading? Or can somebody who works at Spotify just tell a friend, hey, look, I know who's gonna have the most streams today? How are you gonna catch that?
And there's another problem here.
Noted. Thank you. Oh, thank you, $3. Appreciate it. But not that much. I don't appreciate it that much. Power charge, life, or ball tone. All right, we gotta get back to this actually.
I think there's two ways to interpret this. To be very blunt, I may be wrong, but my sense when you look
Still
at his
talking,
life,
dude.
I think he's
He's
been
still
a chameleon,
talking.
and I think he's kind of been. I personally think that he has like a pretty extreme pattern of lying about things, and
Who is he talking about?
It's very hard for me to tell if he just had really dumb opinions as someone in his 20s, and he's
Yo,
actually
dude, thank you very much.
become a little bit
just
more
gifted
moderate,
5
softer in some
subscriptions on
policies
Kick.
now. Or
Thank you, appreciate
if
it.
he's
Payer Enjoyer W.
like a
Payer
Patrick
Enjoyer.
Bateman style
The goat.
sociopath that will just say whatever he needs
Are they
to
still
say
doing
in
this? Because these people have no soul, dude.
any situation. and
People
it's
have
just
no
lying
soul.
through his teeth. And I think
They're completely dead inside.
it's kind of scary that I can't tell the
They
difference.
completely
between
lack
the
any
two.
sort
So
of soul at all.
I don't live in New York. I think that the things like Obama
There's zero aspect of
spending time
them
with
that's real.
him and kind of de facto making him the
They
future
are worms.
Democratic Party, I think that's incredibly dangerous.
Total W by pair enjoyer, dude.
But I'm also like, I'm trying to, like, I want to try to judge him based on what he does.
Imagine smoking a blunt with Shaun Maguire and Mark
It's very
Andreessen.
disappointing that he won the election. I think it was very bad.
Yeah, he
for
looks
New
like Sam
York.
Altman. You're right,
But
Steve
now that
Peters.
he's in that position, like
He does
and
look
he's
like Sam
clearly gonna
Altman.
have a
Same
strong
rat
role in American
phenotype.
politics
Wonder
for the
why.
for decades. Like I'm gonna try to be open-minded based on what he actually does, and maybe he'll change as he gets older, but I don't think he will.
Yeah. Speaking of views and change, and we'll get you out of here in a couple minutes.
I love being with you guys. We're monitoring the situation. Don't worry.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But really quick, we had an insane event today. AI
Sure.
Sent. We had like a cracked lineup of people. I can hear them all out there. So, anyways, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Anything good happened there?
Oh yeah.
Totally cracked.
I mean, I'm not going to go into the
Totally
details,
cracked.
you know,
Everyone
you
should be
guys
like more like me
got
and doing it, or it'd be
Andreessen
bad. Yeah,
over
it's
there.
true.
But
That's true. I'm trying to get.
solved AGI today.
Amazing.
I'm trying to get that spicy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell tonight. So if everyone could send me $20 now, all my viewers should send me $20 each. That would be good.
Amazing. My last question is just on Israel. It feels like there's been a vibe shift. You know, we already saw it on the
Finally,
left.
back to Israel.
After October 7th, but it feels like on the right.
Finally, back to Israel from the guy drinking Voss water.
Sentiment. Do you expect it to only continue on both sides? Do you expect there to be a vibe shift back? How do you expect sort of the view towards Israel to play out in the year to come?
Again, I view this through the lens of incentives, and I just kind of think that all the incentives were from many different directions.
Why these guys?
Going back a few
Nobody.
years, were
They're nobody,
designed
dude.
to, like, have anti-Israel sentiment. You have people that want to divide America internally, and I think that's the lens to which that's what I think with the trans movement, like the gender identity movement.
That's why, dude. It's a big conspiracy. It's a big schizophrenic conspiracy, dude.
Me Too movement.
It's all a big conspiracy against America.
Based in kernels of real issues, but then wildly amplified by the enemies of America because they're incentivized to divide America internally. So you have a lot of people that are incentivized to divide America internally. You have a bunch of people in that region, and China, that are incentivized to make Israel look really bad.
Yeah, that's why. Chinese people are making Jews look bad, dude.
You also have a lot of people that are incentivized to drive a wedge.
Dude, why are the Chinese people making the Jews look so bad?
America. So none of this is surprising to me.
Can the Chinks stop attacking the Jews, please?
I do think it will. I don't think we're at rock bottom yet, and I think it's like anti-Israel sentiment is becoming a core part of the Democratic.
Xi is an
right
anti-Semite.
now.
Yeah,
As
we
you
need to
said,
ban
it's
all Chinese
absolutely
people
rising
until they
on
start
the right. Now,
respecting
kind of
Jews
the new
again.
Op is trying to drive a wedge between Christians and Jews, and it's been very successful recently.
Dunkaxino sent $10. When are we getting new stickers? King?
After Israel wins the war against anti-Semitism.
Cyclical, and at some point, people realize that
Finally, somebody talking about Jews on the
that
media.
position I was taking was so extreme, where we're spending way too much time.
Thank you very
thinking
much,
about this
Junkaccino.
Topic.
Finally, somebody to defend the
my
Jews.
opinions
Finally,
are
there's a billionaire on
not
TV
based in reality
to defend
or
Jewish people.
statistics. Just
That's
one
what I've been
second.
waiting for my whole life.
Okay.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, handing it back. So sorry.
What's up, Dylan?
We had an event today.
All's good.
Anyways,
Finally, a billionaire is telling me that I need to like Jews.
so look,
W in chat for Shaun Maguire.
think we're not
W
at
in
rock
chat
bottom.
for Jews.
I don't think that
W in
opinions right
chat if
now
you
are
love
based-
Jews
are,
now that
based
the
in,
billionaires told you
truth.
to.
I think these opinions are very far out of equilibrium from what is reality, what is the actual truth. And I think the further opinions go from true reality.
Big W
I
in
think the
chat
more
for our
violent
Jewish
it goes
billionaires.
Back to kind of reality.
Yeah, they're just trying to get to us. First, they're trying to get the Jewish billionaires. Next, they'll try to get us afterwards. So we need to stop. We need to just die for the Jewish billionaires first.
The max out of equilibrium that we are, but I do think we'll snap back at some point. And I think part of it could be like I think the dominant variable here is the relationship between U.S. and China. As crazy as that sounds, like I think that if America and China entered some new kind of mutual understanding of the 21st century and we were less antagonistic to each
Huge
other,
W, dude.
I actually think that like the anti-Israel sentiment would drop down precipitously.
Yeah, it's all conspiracy, bro. That's
I
why
think
they don't
this is
like
just
them.
the same way that whenever you've had a
That's
rising empire in
why-
history, it leads to physical proxy wars.
Yeah, that's
I think
why.
it's just an information proxy war. The same
Yeah,
way
that's why it is.
during
It's
the Cold
China.
War,
The reason we don't like Israel is
there
because
were
China, bro.
a dozen.
That's why.
proxy
It's like
wars,
China and
Vietnam.
Russia. That's why. It couldn't be
This is
actually
an
Israel.
information proxy war, and it won't last forever. And what we're seeing right now is not based in reality.
Well, with that, that's a good place to wrap. Shaun, thank you so much for monitoring the situation with us. As we have more situations about the war or
Just totally normal, chill, chill
later on in
vibe.
the year, we should have you back.
I will try to keep it entertaining for you all. Peace.
You never feel
Yo,
like
guys,
every day.
peace out. Peace out, bro. Yeah, I'm Israel. Peace out. Can we get one in chat if you love Jews? One in chat if you think Jewish people are the best. Bomb.com. Finally, somebody with $1 billion told me to be nice to Jews. I like it. That makes sense now, finally. It makes sense, finally.
They said they were going to. State media claimed that they had fired some drones after that at Navy ships. I don't know if that's true. John Turpin says should have complied.
So I think that was a, I think it was a pretty awesome day, right? That kind of exceeded
Official
my high
Jackpot says
expectations.
if you see something wrong with boarding the
Yeah, I've been
ship,
pretty
you need to
nervous gearing
reevaluate
up for
your
this
political
this
stance.
day. How is it going to be perceived? Were we going to get great guests? Were we going to build an audience? And I think it was amazing. We got a lot of love. We got a lot of hate. But we're gonna bring on some of the haters. We're gonna hear from the haters. We're gonna hear from the lovers.
I will be on
soon.
I will be on in 15 minutes on MTS to talk about Israel.
Time analysis.
I will be covering
we've been
Israel in
live
15
for,
minutes.
10 hours now. It's been a while. We have 211,000 cumulative live viewers on the stream. That's just mind blowing. We beat
It's
Alex
not, though.
Jones. I think we beat everyone else on X today.
It's not. All that means is over 10 hours after it's being pushed by every single celebrity in eCeleb. Somebody clicked on it for half a second, and that's a view. That's just not how it can. That's just retarded.
We had what? We had 2 followers yesterday, 1 follower yesterday, and now there's 23,000 of you here. So, yeah, thanks everyone so much for
Dude,
tuning
dark.
in,
This is
following
evil
us,
Tyler Russell, bro.
for watching the stream.
It really is evil Tyler
Remember
Russell.
to join the Discord, discord.gg/MTS Live.
Yeah, and recommend guests to come on. Recommend hosts. This is still very early, literally day 1. And we're trying to be the best place in the world to analyze just what's happening in real time.
Yeah, what's up?
Why does it matter?
Say sup to the
what's
news.
What's going to happen next? And
We're gonna analyze
take
news. Say
a
sup.
Crowdsourced,
Say
kind
sup.
of decentralized intelligence
Mhm.
operation. So we're hoping that we can build the best collective of monitors, of people who have deep expertise across different niches.
That's
and
Jyler.
domains, and who can come
Jyler Jussel.
share that with
Jyler
us,
Jussel.
or who can come point us in the right direction.
Yeah, Jyler
as to
Jussel,
what to
dude.
cover, what
Ooh,
to
that
make
cracks
sense
me
of.
up.
And it'll be interesting to see how far we can get with this, or how good we can actually make this. It's kind of combining.
It can be so good, you
primitives,
guys.
Whether it's like Twitch or
Yeah, different
Clubhouse
primitives, bro. It's like a stream. It's a different primitive, bro.
CNN or other kind of
Video. It's a primitive, bro.
Franchises.
It's just a different primitive, bro.
And we're
like
sort of,
I'm just doing it. It's like on a primitive, bro. It's like a different primitive, like Twitch, bro. Different medium, primitive, content shape. Like Marshall McLuhan said, bro. The medium is the message. Different primitive, bro.
still figuring out what's our style, what's our format, what's our tone.
Ain't these the guys who tried to sell me a monkey 5 years ago? Aren't these the guys who had to sell me an animated monkey GIF for $400,000, saying it was good, like real estate?
And it'll be fun to do that with you.
Cartoon? Sell me an image of a cartoon 5 years ago. Yeah, it's just Woodstown without the appeal. It's just Woodstown without the drama. So what's even the point? What made Woodstown was the drama. Even the way it ended, even the way Woodstown ended was like legendary because it's like, damn, better to burn out. What is it? Burn twice as bright and burn out half as fast. You know, that's what made it legendary. It was there. It was like a flat. It was like lightning bolt, and then before you know it's gone. You're like, damn, what was that? What was that? Was that human? Was that alien? Was that supernatural? Nah, that was Woodstown, dude. That was freaking Woodstown, bro. Why did the show end? There was some drama, so he said it'd be better if we just put it on pause for a bit. It was all good though. I like their new show. I like what is it called? Keith Wood's new show. You can find it on Keith Wood's